Good morning, my most amazing artists. This is Miss Green, and I'm here to share with you another amazing African-American artist named Bisa Butler. She is a fiber artist who has created a new genre of quilting that has transformed the medium. Although quilting has been discovered and long considered a craft, her methods, which create quilts that look like paintings, have catapulted quilting into the field of fine arts. She is known for her vibrant, quilted portraits celebrating Black life, portraying both everyday people and notable historical figures. Her works now count among the permanent collections at the Smithsonian Museum of African American History and Culture, as well as the Art Institute of Chicago, the Perez Art Museum in Miami, and about a dozen other art museums nationwide. Bisa Butler majored in fine arts and graduated from Howard University. Her undergraduate degree was in painting, and although she is a talented painter, her career as an artist didn't fully blossom until she discovered her artistic form of quilting. Bisa went on to complete a master's degree in art education from Montclair State University, and it is there that she took a fiber arts class that really inspired her choice of quilting as an artistic art form. She said in an interview that as a child, she always watched her mother and grandmother sew, and that they taught her. After that class, she made a quilt for her grandmother who was on her deathbed, and ever since then, she's been quilting. When she replicated her grandmother's wedding photo in quilt form, a piece that she entitled Francis and Violet for a final art project, both she and her professor recognized that she had created an entirely new form of quilting art. Along with being a practicing artist, Bisa Butler taught art in the Newark public schools for over a decade. Through her quilts, Butler aims to tell stories that may have been forgotten over time. Butler often uses kente cloth and African wax-printed fabrics in her quilts, so her subjects are adorned with and made up of cloth of their ancestors. Butler's quilts both heavily incorporate African textiles as well as expand on a rich African-American quilting tradition. She has also been inspired by the figurative textile works of Faith Ringgold, an African-American artist that I shared with you guys in my last video. Butler typically works in bright jewel tones rather than representational colors to depict skin tone. Color serves to convey emotions of the individuals in her quilts rather than their actual complexions. Her quilts often feature portraits of famous figures in Black history, such as Paul Laurence Dunbar, Jackie Robinson, Frederick Douglass, and Josephine Baker. Butler uses a variety of pattern fabrics, which she carefully selects to reflect the subject's life, sometimes using clothing worn by the subject. Her portrait of Nina Simone, for example, is made of cotton, silk, velvet, and netting, whereas her portrait of John Michael Basquiat is made of leather, cotton, and vintage denim. Along with her portraits of notable figures, Bisa Butler also creates pieces featuring everyday unknown African-American subjects that she bases on found photographs. She describes her fascination for her nameless subjects' unknown stories. She says, quote, "I feel for these people. I know these stories because I have grown up with them my whole life." She strives to bring as many of these unnamed people's photos to the forefront so that people will see these ordinary folks as deserving of a spotlight too. Her pieces are done in life-size scale in order to really invite the viewer to engage in dialogue. Most of the figures look the viewers directly in their eyes as they are a life-size portrait. Her work, Harlem Hellfighters, was acquired by the Smithsonian American Art Museum as part of the Renwick Gallery's 50th anniversary campaign. In this work, Bisa Butler's largest quilt measures approximately 11 by 13 feet and features 9 life-size figures. The photograph that Bisa Butler used for this work is a 1919 black and white photograph of the 369th Infantry Regiment, nicknamed the Harlem Hellfighters from World War I. Butler says, "My work is to continue to lift them up in history so that they can be seen in public spaces where their heroic sacrifices become part of the American quest to fight against oppression and to fight for freedom." I think that Bisa Butler is an amazing contemporary artist with such a beautiful talent. I hope you guys enjoyed learning about her for Black History Month.